Thank you. Would you please stand for the flag salute? Thank you. Public notice, Ada?
Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Publics Meeting Act. Notice have been posted at the board's office and having been delivered to the Department of State and to newspapers of broad circulation.
Thank you. Roll call?
Commissioner Holden?
Here.
Commissioner Solomon? Here. Commissioner Chivukula? Here. Commissioner Gordon? Here. President Fiorliso.
Here. Next regularly scheduled meeting?
Our next regular board meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 7 at 10 a.m. at the board's office located at 44 South Clinton Avenue in the Merit System Room on the first floor.
Thank you. And because we're going to be in the board building, there are some technical restraints there that we don't have here. So we will be unable to live stream the meeting on October the 7th. We will, however, be able to video record the meeting and then upload it to the BPU website. So if you are unable to attend the October 7th meeting, you will be able to see the recording on the BPU website. It won't be in real time, so be aware of that. And you don't want to miss this exciting television. That was a joke. You could laugh if you'd like. Netflix. I like that. Yeah, I'm sure it'll draw a large audience. I also want to make you aware of the fact that item 3A, cable item, relating to Altice USA is being deferred to a later date. We will be going into executive session, and we will be addressing clean energy item F, which is an RFQ of the Electric Vehicle Program Administrator. We will take action on this item in regular session. I would estimate that executive session may take 30 minutes or maybe even longer. So bear with us if it is longer. We'll try to be as expeditious as we possibly can be. Will the Attorney General's office please explain the justification for going into executive session?
Thank you, President Fiorliso. We'll be going to an executive session pursuant to the contract negotiation exception to the Open Public Meeting Act, as well as the attorney-client exception.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're back in regular session. Thank you, and I apologize that we were more than 30 minutes in there, but it was well worth it. I do have some opening remarks. As some of you may have heard, Mike Stonick of our Division of Reliability and Security is retiring from the Board of Public Utilities. Is Mike here? There he is. Mike has been with the board for 14 years, having previously worked at Elizabethtown Gas. I want to thank you on behalf of the state of New Jersey, Mike, for serving the 9 million people who live here. You've been a valuable employee and one that's going to be missed tremendously. I know everyone here joins me in congratulating you and wishing you many, many years of happy and healthy retirement. So congratulations, Mike. And don't forget your BPU family. Would you like to say anything? You don't have to.
Much success, health, and happiness for the future. So thank you very much, and I hope that the board will continue to support the pipeline safety program and to enhance the capabilities of that particular program. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. All the best.
Thank you.
I'm also happy to announce that we have some new employees, and these are the kinds of announcements. I had to announce retirements because we lose good people, but I am happy to announce new people coming on board, and it seems like every meeting we have that pleasure. One is Sam Victor. I don't know if Sam is here. He has joined our Information Technology Division. And Tony is Cantor. Is he present, Tony? There you are. And Tony has joined the Secretary's office. And it's interesting because Tony was an intern, and it just proves that the intern program does work, because we come across some very, very fine people, and many of them who graduate into full-time employees. And so we're happy to have them. Was Sam, I'm sorry for not knowing this, was Sam a intern? Yes, Sam was also an intern. And so it's a good bench to draw from. So welcome, and I hope you have many, many productive years with us. I would also like to give a thank you, a big thank you, to the BPU staff. Over the past several months, we've been in a pressure cooker environment here. And the staff has been working diligently to meet the deadlines, engage with stakeholders, and overcome challenges that the BPU has never had to deal with before. I know when I got here 14 years ago, we didn't have all this on our plate. We were still basically a regulatory agency, which we still are. But many more responsibilities have been added. Many more exciting responsibilities have been added. And we should all be proud of the fact that we are directing New Jersey to a point where it is a leader in renewable energy. And that's something we should all be proud about. We have accomplished so much over the past few months, and we would not have been able to do it without the diligence and continued dedication of our staff. So thank you, staff. Do any other commissioners have any opening comments? Yes.
Well, I just want to add to your excitement. I'm happy to report that we are moving forward with proposed amendments to NJAC 14:9 for a potential wastewater system improvement charge. The distribution system improvement charge, or the DSIC, is a regulatory mechanism which creates a financial incentive for water utilities to accelerate the level of investment needed to promote the timely rehabilitation or replacement of certain non-revenue producing, read leaks, critical water infrastructure. Through stakeholder process, the BPU staff provide an opportunity for interested parties to comment on extending the DSIC rules to investor-owned wastewater utilities. Stakeholder meetings were held at the BPU on June 13, July 23, and September 13. The next round of comments are due October 11. They can be submitted electronically to board.secretary@bpu.nj.gov or mailed to Ida Camacho Welch, Board Secretary, P.O. Box 350, Trenton, New Jersey, 08625-0350. Reply comments will be due November 8. We anticipate a follow-up stakeholder meeting in early December and hopefully a final rule proposal sometime in January. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. President. On consent agenda items 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B, 7A, and 9A.
So moved.
Roll call.
Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. That's it. Okay, first up, Alice, audits. 1A.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. And we're talking about Spark Energy, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
This agenda involves 3 separate matters that you will vote on today. The first is the matter involving the offer of settlement by Senstar Energy Corporation, Spark Energy Gas, LLC, Spark Energy, LLC, Oasis Power, LLC, doing business as Oasis Energy, Hyco Energy, LLC, and Respond Power, LLC. The second item you will vote on are the initial applications to be licensed third-party suppliers for 3 of the applicants, and the third are the renewal applications to be licensed third-party suppliers for 2 of the applicants. The first matter involves potential violations under the Energy Discount and Energy Competition Act, NJSA 48:3-49, that's it. And more specifically, NJSA 48:3-78 and NJSA 48:3-79, etc. And NJAC 14:4-1.1, etc., the board's regulations. By Senstar, Spark Energy, Oasis, and Hyco, and Respond, who have been operating as third-party suppliers to provide electric power supply services to residential, commercial, some small, and industrial customers in New Jersey, as well as gas supply services to those customers. These companies are under the parent Spark Hold Company, LLC. As a result of correspondence, telephone conversations, and meetings with staff and representatives for the Spark companies, the Spark company submitted an offer of settlement regarding its alleged violations. In the offer of settlements, the Spark companies made a monetary offer in the amount of $55,000 in order to resolve all issues concerning the violations alleged by staff. Staff believes the offer is reasonable. Based upon the violations and recommendations, that the board accept the offer of settlement pro-offered by the Spark companies.
Move it, yeah.
Comments? Questions? Yes.
Okay. The reason I didn't move it is because I'm going to be voting no on this. In fact, I have prepared a dissent I'd like to read into the record. One of the goals of this agency is to be consistent so that businesses and consumers can make decisions with some degree of predictability and certainty. Failing to act consistently when the board is faced with a set of similar facts can result in an appellate court overruling determinations made by this board on the basis that they are arbitrary and capricious. Last month, on August 7, this board approved a settlement with Green Mountain Energy Company for an alleged failure to comply with the same license renewal application requirements at issue in this case, which are set forth in New Jersey Administrative Code, Title 14, Chapter 4, Subchapter 5. In that case, Green Mountain filed its renewal registrations 24 days late for a single third-party supplier, or TPS license, and the board agreed to a settlement of $5,000, or roughly $208 per day, that the company's license renewal was late. However, in this case, Sparks and the companies it acquired failed to timely renew a total of 7 TPS licenses for a total of 1,308 days beyond the due date. Applying the same daily penalty rate as the Green Mountain case of $208 per day, this amount comes to $272,064, far greater than the $55,000 staff proposes to settle for. Additionally, in this case, Sparks also failed to comply with the board's rules requiring companies to notify the board when they acquire another company. Sparks acquired HEICO along with its 2 TPS licenses and also acquired Respond and Major, each with a single TPS license. These rules help ensure the board stays current with changes in the industry and participating companies, which to me is even more important than simply failing to timely renew a license registration, and therefore should involve a higher penalty per day. This is especially true when one of the companies involved, HEICO, is facing major fines for improper business practices in several of our neighboring states. Staff's recommendation to accept Sparks' offer of $55,000 in settlement of an alleged violations gives Sparks a major discount relative to Green Mountain for the same violation of failure to timely renew its licenses and does not account for the more serious violation of failing to timely notify the board of an acquisition. I found no facts in the record to justify this massive discount. An appropriate settlement that is consistent with and proportional to the settlement this board just entered into with Green Mountain would be close to $1 million. Therefore, I respectfully dissent.
Any other comments? Bottom line, and thank you for your comments. Bottom line is every case is an individual one, and we're certainly not here to put anybody out of business. We're here to try to ensure the fact that people follow the rules. So I will be voting yes. Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation to accept the Spark Company's offer of settlement, Commissioner Holden?
No.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
The second item you were to vote on today are the initial applications of Senstar Energy Corporation, Spark Energy Gas LLC, Spark Energy LLC, Oasis Power LLC, doing business as Oasis. Given that the vote today has to accept the offer of settlement, we recommend, and that all of these entities have provided all the required licensing documentation, and there are no other investigations pending with regard to their service. Staff recommends that the board approve their initial applications to provide supply service as third-party suppliers in the state of New Jersey.
We have 3 votes on this?
The third vote will be on the 2 companies that have renewal applications.
Okay, all right. Commissioner? You're not moving it?
I move, yeah.
Comments? Roll call?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation to accept the Spark Company's initial applications for Senstar Energy, Spark Energy Gas, Spark Energy, Oasis Power, doing business as Oasis Energy. Commissioner Holden?
No.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
The third items are the renewal applications of HEICO and Respond. Given that the board has voted to accept the offer of settlement in HEICO and Respond provided all the required licensing documentation, and there are no other investigations pending with regard to their service, staff recommends that the board approve their renewal applications to provide supply service as third-party suppliers in the state of New Jersey.
I move the resolution.
Comments? Questions?
The key point here is that we are here to encourage businesses to do well in the state of New Jersey. If they have done something wrong, it is we do put the penalties. I don't think we should be comparing one case to the other, and I think we should be business promoters and not business slayers. Thank you.
And if you have the funds to acquire other companies, obviously you wouldn't be putting anyone out of business, but the rules should be applied fairly to everyone.
I think rely on the staff's recommendation that they have come to an agreement, and I support it. Yeah.
Roll call?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation to accept the Spark Company's renewal applications for HEICO Energy and Respond Power, Commissioner Holden?
No.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Energy. Stacy? It's Maureen, Universal Service Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. This matter concerns the utilities' annual compliance filing to determine the Universal Service Fund and Lifeline program budgets and rates for the upcoming year. USF has provided benefits to approximately 160,000 low-income households in the current program year. Lifeline provided benefits to over 200,000 elderly and disabled households in the last state fiscal year. The utilities submitted their annual compliance filing to the board in June, requesting rates to recover a USF budget of approximately $111 million, a Lifeline program budget of $74.6 million, and a fiscal year 2019 USF administrative budget of $6.4 million. While the Lifeline budget has not increased since last year, the Lifeline gas and electric rate increased very slightly. Also, the USF gas rate increased and electric rate decreased. The initial June filing was based on 7 months of actual information through April 2019 and 5 months of estimated information. In August, 2 public hearings were held in each of the 7 gas and electric utility service territories. No comments were received from the public at any of these hearings. Also in August, the utilities submitted responses to discovery requests and provided staff with 9 months of actual cost data and 3 months of estimated data. Staff would like to note that the August updated USF gas rate was higher than what was listed in the public hearing notices. Therefore, the gas rate from the June filing is recommended. However, the August updated electric rate is recommended as is lower than the current rate. Additionally, the 2019 Department of Community Affairs USF administrative budget was used in the August update also. During the review period, Rate Council submitted written comments offering their opinion on the utilities filing. They stated that they did not object to the utilities' request for recovery of their actual administrative costs, takes no position regarding the reasonableness of DCA's budget, does not object to the board making the proposed USF and Lifeline rates effective October 1st, 2019, and does not object to the board making the present interim USF and Lifeline rates permanent. After reviewing the filing and all the related submissions, staff recommends a USF budget of approximately $119 million for the new program year. This is an increase of approximately $7 million from the current budget. If approved, the budget and rates would be effective October 1st. Further, staff recommends the board approve the Lifeline rates contained in the filing, which support a Lifeline program budget of approximately $74.6 million. If approved, these rates would also be effective October 1st. Additionally, staff recommends the board direct state staff to reimburse the utilities for their administrative costs, which total $3,037. The combined USF Lifeline rates represent an increase of $2.11 per year for an average residential gas customer and a decrease of 3 cents per year for an average residential electric customer. The combined USF Lifeline annual bill will be $30.80 a year for an average residential customer using both gas and electric, which is an increase of $2.09 from the current level. And finally, staff recommends that the board finalize the interim USF rates that have been approved previously through September 30th, 2018, because these rates have been reviewed and trued up.
So moved.
Comments? Questions? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiorelliso?
Yes. 2B, Atlantic City Electric, Stacy?
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners. Agenda item 2B relates to a May 2nd petition filed by Atlantic City Electric Company seeking review and approval of capital investments related to its Power Ahead program that were placed in service from January through June of 2019. In the petition, ACE sought to recover a revenue requirement of approximately $480,000 related to those investments. On July 16th, ACE updated its filing with actual information through June of 2019, wherein the revenue requirement was updated to approximately $504,000. The parties subsequently executed a stipulation that would allow the company to recover a revenue requirement of approximately $252,000 related to the Power Ahead program. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential customer will see a monthly increase of approximately 5 cents. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing ACE to file revised tariffs by October 1st.
So moved.
Comments? Questions? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiorelliso?
Yes. C?
Before I get to 2C, because there was a lot of action taken in September on a lot of the utilities items, I just wanted to summarize what the bill impact will be on October 1st if everything ruled on in September.
Okay.
So for a typical ACE customer, the annual net impact is an increase of 59 cents based on all actions taken in September. So 2C relates to a petition filed by New Jersey Natural Gas on March 29th, seeking authority to establish rates to recover annualized increases in the revenue requirements associated with its NJ RISE program and SAFE 2 program. The petition sought approval to recover $8.726 million for expenditures related to both programs through June 30th. New Jersey Natural subsequently updated its petition to include actual expenditures through June 30th. modifying the revenue requirement to $7.843 million for both programs. The parties executed a stipulation that would allow the company to recover the updated revenue requirement. As a result of the stipulation, the monthly impact for a typical residential heating customer is an increase of $1.22. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing New Jersey Natural to file revised tariffs by October 1st.
So moved.
Questions? Comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? President Fiordaliso?
Yes. And to D, PSE&G.
So for all board action taken on New Jersey Natural matters this month, the annual net impact for a typical residential customer is an increase of $23.60.
I forgot to let you say that, didn't I?
It's okay.
But you got it in anyway, didn't you?
Agenda item 2D relates to an April 29th petition filed by PSE&G seeking approval for gas base rate changes to provide for cost recovery associated with costs for the company's gas system modernization program through June 30th. The company sought approval to recover a revenue requirement of $11.6 million, which was updated on July 15th for actual data to $11.3 million. The parties executed a stipulation that would allow the company to recover the updated revenue requirement of $11.3 million. Based on the stipulation, a typical residential gas heating customer would see an increase in their annual bill of $6.68. Staff recommends the board issue an order adopting the stipulation and directing PSE&G to file revised tariffs by October 1st.
So moved.
Comments? Questions? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes.
So as a result of all board action taken on PS electric matters this month, the annual net impact is an increase of $3.09. For gas matters, the annual net impact is a decrease of $7.37.
I let you do it that time, didn't I?
You did let me do it that time.
All right, 2E, Soundview Paper.
On July 12th, Soundview Paper Company filed a petition seeking to modify the board's existing orders governing the electric and gas societal benefits charge paid by Soundview at its Marcal Mill in Elmwood Park, which is provided by PSE&G. In the petition, Soundview sought a 90% reduction of the electric and gas SBC charges at the Marcal Mill through December 2022. Additionally, Soundview indicated it is considering applying for funds for a natural gas-fired cogeneration unit, which would likely not be up and running for at least 2 years. Soundview sought the elimination of the condition that restricts it from withdrawing any SBC funds during the time in which an SBC reduction is in effect. Following a period of discovery, Soundview and board staff executed a joint position, which among other things provides that through December 1st of 2022, Soundview will pay a reduced electric and gas SBC charge that provides for a 75% reduction. Additionally, the joint position would eliminate the condition that restricts Soundview from withdrawing any SBC funds during the time in which the SBC reduction is in place. Comments on the joint position were received from Rate Counsel. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the joint position. Additionally, staff recommends that if and when Soundview applies for SBC funds, that it notify the Director of Energy.
So moved.
I think we all sympathize with Soundview and the struggles they've had since the Marcal paper plant burned to the ground. The plant, which was built back in 1932, has been a long-time industrial landmark and job provider in the Patterson, Elmwood Park, and surrounding counties. I sincerely hope, and I know I'm probably speaking for all of my colleagues, that granting Soundview partial relief in their societal benefit charges, that they can rebuild and rehire to the levels that they were before the terrible disaster struck. Any other comments? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm intimately familiar with the Marcal facility. I used to represent Elmwood Park, and I know the Margulis family. I believe this is the largest taxpayer in Elmwood Park, and I only hope that we're providing enough relief for them, because it really is very important to the community and the region. And I would add, Marcal was the sole consumer of, or is the only paper facility in New Jersey that made use of recycled paper products, so that when you put your paper out of the curb, it was likely going to Marcal. And it's also a great loss for those of us who are concerned about the environment, that facility's not there anymore, and I wish them the best in coming back.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes.
No, I think this is one way we can help out Markel, and there's been a long time employment provider in the state of New Jersey, and I hope this helps them and they can apply for the CHP and generate their own energy and try to continue their business.
Any other comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? President Fiordaliso?
Yes. 2F, South Jersey Gas.
On April 30th, South Jersey Gas filed a petition seeking authority to establish rates to recover annualized increases in their revenue requirements associated with its AIRP2 program. The petition sought to recover $6.9 million based on actual costs from July 2018 through March 2019 and projected costs through June of 2019. On July 15th, South Jersey updated the petition to include actual expenditures through June 30th of 2019. As reflected in the update, the revenue requirement sought by South Jersey was modified to $7.1 million. The parties executed a stipulation which would allow the company to recover the updated revenue requirement of $7.1 million. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer will see an increase in their monthly bill of $1.97. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing South Jersey Gas to file revised tariffs by October 1st.
So moved.
Questions? Comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. 2G, also South Jersey Gas.
Also on April 30th, South Jersey filed a petition seeking review and approval of the company's base rate adjustments pursuant to its SHARP 2 program. The petition sought recovery of the revenue requirements related to SHARP 2 projects placed in service from June of 2018 through June of 2019 and included actual information through March. The company sought authority to recover a revenue requirement of approximately $3.2 million. On July 15th, the company provided an update with actual investments through June of 2019. The update provided schedules supporting a revenue requirement of approximately $3.1 million. The parties executed a stipulation that would allow the company to recover the updated revenue requirement of $3.1 million. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer would see an increase in their monthly bill of 87 cents. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing South Jersey to file revised tariffs by October 1st.
So moved.
Questions? Comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. 2H, PSE&G.
So if I could just do the summary of...
Oh, see? You had to trip me up again?
This is the last one, I swear.
Okay.
As a result of all board action taken on South Jersey Gas matters this month, the annual net impact to a typical residential customer is a decrease of $30.49.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, can we do the next one?
We can,
Okay,
if it's okay. On August 6th, PSE&G filed a petition seeking approval of a rate schedule CSG Transportation Service Agreement extension between PSE&G and Lehigh Cement Company. PS presently provides natural gas transportation service to the facilities owned and operated by Lehigh Cement in Camden, New Jersey, at rates and terms set by an agreement approved by the board in September 2014. The board's 2014 order also approved a discounted societal benefits charge to Lehigh Cement's facility, formerly owned by Wholesome. The petition sought a 10-year extension of the agreement approved by that 2014 order. Staff received comments from Rate Counsel, wherein Rate Counsel stated it does not object to the granting of PSE&G's request to extend the discounted transportation and SBC rates now in effect for Lehigh Cement for an additional 10-year period. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the service agreement extension between PSE&G and Lehigh Cement, as well as the continuation of the discounted SBC charge applicable to the service at Lehigh Cement.
So moved.
Questions, comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. Thank you, Stacy. As I indicated at the beginning of the meeting, item 3A has been deferred to a later date. Telecommunications. Hi, Lawanda.
Good morning, President Fiordaliso. Good morning, Commissioners.
And you're on 4A.
Yes. 4A is a petition by Verizon New Jersey to delete certain measurements and standards from its New Jersey carrier-to-carrier or C2C guidelines and the New Jersey Incentive Plan. The C2C guidelines is a collection of 243 performance standards and metrics spanning 8 broad categories, which measures the standard of service which Verizon provides to competitive local exchange carriers, or CLECs. The metrics were a byproduct of both the board's 1995 proceeding and the 1996 Federal Telecommunications Act, which opened up the local exchange telephone market previously limited to incumbent local exchange carriers such as Verizon to competitive carriers. To facilitate competition in this market, Verizon was required to provide parts of its network known as unbundled network elements, or UNIs, to their competitors. The C2C guidelines were created to ensure that Verizon provided these elements or services to CLECs in a non-discriminatory manner. In addition, the board adopted an incentive plan which required Verizon to pay penalties known as incentive credits to CLECs when they failed to meet the C2C guidelines. On December of 2018, Verizon petitioned the board requesting that 4 of these metrics be removed from the C2C guidelines and incentive plan. The company claims that the 4 metrics have become antiquated in today's competitive environment and do not serve their original intended purpose. In addition, they note that they have met the metrics more than 98% of the time since they were adopted, and the 4 metrics have never existed in any other Verizon jurisdictions because the other states did not deem the metrics useful enough to be included in their guidelines. The first metric involves what is referred to as NXX updates. NXX refers to the 3 digits in your telephone number following the area code. The metric measures the percentage of NXX updates from CLECs that were installed in Verizon switches before a date certain. The NXX code of telephone numbers for CLEC customers must be updated to Verizon switches in a timely manner to ensure calls will be processed properly. In support of its position, the company argues that the results are statistically invalid due to consistently having either a very small sample size or no data to measure. The second and third metrics involve updates to the Directory Assistance Database and measures the accuracy and timeliness of these updates and listings during a specified period. Verizon indicates that they have consistently met these metrics over time, except for limited instances. They also note that the metric is no longer necessary in today's competitive environment, since alternatives to the traditional directory assistance services are available for all customers. The fourth metric measures the timeliness of Verizon's response to requests for unis. The metric specifically measures the use of bona fide requests, or BFRs. However, Verizon indicates that this metric is no longer useful because CLECs no longer use BFRs for this process. They use what is known as an Access Service Request, or ASR. Board staff submitted Verizon's petition to the list of active CLECs in New Jersey. Only AT&T provided comments to the petition, and they had no objections to Verizon's petition. Rate Council also submitted comments, which Verizon provided a response to. Rate Council did not object to the deletion of the first metric on NXX updates, but requested confirmation of an additional year of data. Staff reviewed the data and is satisfied that there still remains a lack of statistical data to review. On the second and third metrics on directory assistance, Rate Council recommended continuing the metric while decreasing the frequency of reporting. Verizon responded that decreasing the metric would actually pose a hardship rather than a relief to Verizon because it would require changes to their current systems. On the fourth metric regarding BFRs, Rate Council recommended that a new metric be created to measure the ASR process. However, Verizon indicates that there are already metrics in place to measure this process. Based on a review of the record and the comments provided by the interested parties, staff recommends the board approve the deletion of the four metrics. Staff agrees with Verizon that the metrics are no longer useful in today's environment, which is evidenced by the lack of comments from the CLEC community. As noted above, the only CLEC which provided comments, which was AT&T, had no objections to removal of the metrics, and they are the only party directly affected by this petition.
So moved.
This in no way is going to harm customer service, is it, Luanda?
That's correct, President. This relates only to the metrics that are for wholesale services between Verizon and the competitive carriers.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lavanda. I haven't heard so many acronyms in one memo. It brings me back memories in Bell Labs. The question is that why did Rate Council ask for BFRs, amended BFRs? Is there a logic behind that? Or? Because, you know, the bona fide request for the unbundled network elements, I mean, that's no longer used by the CLECs. I mean, that's what, so I was curious.
Actually, I believe they asked for a new metric to be created that would measure what they actually use, which is the ASR. And Verizon indicates that out of the 243 metrics, there are already metrics in place which measure that process. Therefore, there's no need to create a new metric in this instance.
Yeah, thanks for clarification.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Shivakula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. Thank you, Luanda. There are no items under water, no items under reliability and security, or customer assistance. That brings us down to clean energy. And the first item refers to Combined Heat and Power Incentive Program. And Ben?
Yes, that's correct.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Item 8A concerns a petition filed by 1415 Park Ave Development LLC requesting that the board grant petitioner additional time to complete the installation of a combined heat and power system. The project, known as Park and Garden, is being constructed at an apartment complex in Hoboken, New Jersey, and covers the installation of a 75 kilowatt system. 3 of the previous 4 extensions were granted to allow for installation of upgrades necessary to allow the system to meet efficiency levels required to participate in the New Jersey Clean Energy Program's CHP program. The 4th extension, which expired on May 11th, 2019, was granted to address several safety concerns raised by PSE&G, the interconnecting utility in this case. While petitioner has made significant progress towards completing this project, additional time is required to finalize the project and submit paperwork to receive the second incentive under NJCEP program rules. However, petitioner has now successfully addressed all of PSE&G's concerns by finalizing the design of newly required electrical and communications equipment, has hired additional contractors, and is working to complete the project as expediently as possible. Due to the project's nearly complete status and the complexity inherent in addressing PSE&G's concerns, staff recommends the board approve the request for a 6-month extension through November 11th, 2019.
So moved.
Questions, comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? President Fiordaliso?
Yes, thank you, Ben. Brings us down to 8B, relates to an SREC. Ron, how are you? Good.
Jackson. To start off, and good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
The next 4 items on the agenda involve requests for solar renewable energy certificate purchase and sale agreement extensions with Atlantic City Electric Company as winning bidders in their SREC 2 financing program. The first item involves a petition that was filed by Go Solar requesting a 1-month extension of the solar renewable energy purchase and sale agreement, I'll say PSA from now on, between All Solar, who's the SREC owner, and Atlantic City Electric. All Solar entered into an SREC PSA with ACE on October 15, 2018. On March 25, 2019, All Solar received an initial 3-month extension of the 6-month completion deadline to July 15, 2019 for the 8.26 kilowatt project from ACE. Any further extensions or requests by the petitioner will have to be granted by the board, and the petitioner is now requesting an additional 1-month extension of the PSA due to roof issues. The board has not historically accepted roofing repairs as justification for an extension. Every roof that is planned for a roof-mounted solar system must be inspected for its structural integrity. No, this is Ivy Simpson, right? Yeah. No, I'm on the right one.
8C. Ivy Simpson.
Yeah, this is it. Oh, this is it. Okay. Oh, I skipped 8B.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, my mistake. Okay.
Just to clarify that Ron started on 8C, we're going to skip back to 8B,
Okay.
which is also a Go Solar case.
Okay.
There are 2 on the docket from Go Solar, and so we're going to go back to 8B.
Okay, this involved Go Solar petition for an extension of the SREC PSA regarding Frank Capino between All Solar and Atlantic City Electric on July 3rd, 2019. Go Solar's petitioner submitted a petition requesting a 3-month extension of the solar PSA between All Solar, the SREC owner, and Atlantic City Electric Company. All Solar entered into a PSA with ACE on about October 15th for the 4.2 kilowatt solar system at the owner of Go Solar's home. On March 25th, 2019, Go Solar received an initial 3-month extension from ACE of the 6-month completion deadline to July 15, 2019. Any further extensions beyond the first request by the petitioner will have to be sought from the board. Staff does not see evidence of significant progress towards completion here. The petitioner states only that the solar panels are on order. Moreover, petitioner asserts that the site is undergoing significant renovation. The petitioner has not demonstrated significant progress towards completion. The petitioner claims that locating an alternative source for these panels was so difficult that it constituted a delay in affecting construction. In the absence of any additional support for this claim, even when requested by staff, we do not find it to be persuasive. As to the delays occasioned by the renovation to the site, the records reflect that the site is Mr. Capino's home. As such, it stretches credibility to claim that these renovations were neither anticipated nor avoidable extensions to complete the project. Therefore, staff recommends that the board deny the petitioner's request for a 3-month extension from the expiration of the current extension to complete the project.
So moved.
Comments? Yes.
I can't resist. You know, Ron, you have taken Eric Hartsfield's place, because this is like the most humorous one we've had. Mr. Carpino also owns Go Solar?
Yes, he does.
Thank you. I rest my...
Any other comments, questions? Roll call?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. Now, just to clarify, that was 8B.
That's 8B, yes, that was 8B.
So now we're on 8C.
Now we're on 8C.
Okay.
As I stated earlier, on July 3rd, 2019, Go Solar filed a petition requesting a one-month extension of the solar renewable energy certificate purchase and sale agreement between All Solar, who is the SREC owner, and Atlantic City Electric. All Solar entered into the PSA agreement with ACE on October 15, 2018. Again, on March 25, 2019, All Solar received an initial 3-month extension of the 6-month completion deadline to July 15, 2019 for the 8.26 kilowatt project from ACE. Any further extensions requests by the petitioner will have to be granted by the board. Again, they're requesting an additional 1-month extension due to the size of this project. The board has not historically accepted roofing issues as a justification for an extension. Every roof that is planned or on a roof-mounted solar system must be inspected for its structural integrity and ability to handle the load. SREC registration lanes and EDC SREC 2 PSA timelines for a competition are sufficiently long to accommodate roof repairs. However, in this instant, the board notes that the project was completed within the SRP extension deadline and only 3 days after the PSA with ACE expired. Since the petitioner tardiness was de minimis, staff recommends the board grant the petitioner's PSA extension to August 15, 2019.
So moved.
Comments, questions? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. 2D, another SREC. Hey, Ron?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about 2D and 2E, since they both involve the same companies, and these two sites are these two projects are on the same site but on different buildings. So.
Okay, so we'll have to vote on these separately anyway.
Yes.
Yes, and just to clarify, it's 8D and 8E.
I thought it was 8D and 8E.
Yeah, 8D and 8E.
D,
Oh.
yes, 8, not 2.
Okay, on July 22nd, Infinity Energy Services, who's the project developer, submitted a petition on behalf of the board for JJ Solar Holdings, who is the SREC owner, requesting a 3-month extension for the renewable energy certificate purchase and sale agreement, again, the PSA, between JJU and Atlantic City Electric. This involves 2 projects, one at Universal Supply that is 25.5 kilowatts, and the second one is at the same location at 28.08 kilowatts. As a winner bidder in the ACE SREC 2 financing program, JJU entered into a PSA with ACE on about October 15, 2018 for both of these projects, and on April 8, 2019, JJU received from ACE an initial 3-month extension of the 6-month completion deadline to July 15, 2019. Again, any further extension request by the petitioner will have to be granted by the board. The petitioner is now requesting an additional 3-month PSA extension. The reason for this, and in support of the second extension, Infinity let us know that they received a letter from ACE regarding the proposal to interconnect the solar generation facilities totaling a total of 280 kilowatts. There were a total of 5 actually projects at the beginning that won bids in this auction, and ACE required that the 280 kilowatts DC for these 5 systems be reduced to about 50 kilowatts for each system due to engineering reasons. As a result, the 5 initial projects were reduced to 2, and each of the remaining projects had to be redesigned to meet ACE interconnection standards to the circuit. In a letter to the board staff dated July 17, 2019, ACE has reviewed the petitioner's extension request and does not oppose the additional extension to complete these projects. Staff recommends that the board find that the delays were unavoidable and unforeseeable and grant the petition providing a PSA extension to October 15, 2019.
Okay, let's take 8D first.
So moved.
Questions, comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? President Fiordaliso?
Yes. Now 8E.
So moved.
Questions, comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon? Yes. Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. Thank you, Ron. That brings us down to 8F. Jim?
And Mr. President, if I may, before we jump off of solar, as folks are aware, yesterday the board announced the results of our community solar application, and as you had alluded to earlier, staff has been working very hard, and I just wanted to recognize as well that we are overjoyed with the response that we had received on that, and looking forward to being able to bring forward projects to the board in the future.
And I think it's a response that none of us really anticipated. It was so overwhelming, so great job.
Yes, and thank you to all of our colleagues at the BPU who chipped in to help and intake those applications.
Now we saved the best for last, did we, Jim?
Thank you, sir.
I wasn't talking about you.
Well, I want to thank you anyway.
Okay.
Mr. President, Commissioners. This agenda item pertains to authorization to release a request for quotations with the intent to retain an experienced consultant to assist staff in the development and administration of an incentive program for electric vehicles and electric vehicle infrastructure. This program will allow the board to act on the state's commitments as a signatory to the Zero Emission Vehicles Program's Memorandum of Understanding that sets a goal of 330,000 electric vehicles on New Jersey roads by 2025. It will also allow the board to carry out a BPU task as part of the multi-agency partnership to plug in, excuse me, which is to consider how to dedicate funds from the Clean Energy Program and RGGI to establish a program to incentivize the sale and ownership of new and used zero-emission vehicles in a manner that serves all markets and demographics throughout the state. And it allows the board to utilize the $30 million in the Clean Energy Fund dedicated by Governor Murphy and the legislature to establish a program to support the purchase and use of electric vehicles and infrastructure in New Jersey. As discussed in executive session, board staff recommends that the board approve the release of this request for quotation consistent with the discussion in executive session.
So moved.
I just have a couple of comments regarding this, and I think it's another major step forward in trying to achieve our goal of carbon neutral by 100% carbon neutral by 2050. And this RFQ is really the first step of many steps that we will be taking as a board in developing a program to achieve Governor Murphy's pledge to 330,000 EVs on the road by 2025. Another ambitious goal, but all of our goals have been ambitious, and we're working toward achieving each and every one of them. And this will obviously help to reduce emissions from the transportation sector and help reach the goals of the Global Warming Response Act. As the state's draft 2019 master plan makes clear, the transportation sector accounts for 46% of the state's net greenhouse gas emissions, making it the largest emission source in the state. Encouraging zero-emission vehicles is crucial to reaching that goal of carbon neutral by 2050. And I really, again, have to congratulate staff for all of the work, and we're looking toward the expert, once this RFQ goes out, to help us develop a plan that is going to make, hopefully, life in New Jersey even better. And we have taken so many steps toward that 2050 goal that it really is most gratifying. And in addition to thanking staff, I have to thank my colleagues who have worked to achieve the goals that are so important to each and every one of us. And I think we all, and I don't mean to speak for anyone else but myself, but I'm going to risk it by saying I think we all are gratified that we are doing something that is going to make life better for subsequent generations. We all have young ones that we know that we want to make this world a little bit better for. And those generations not even born yet. We have, as I've said many, many times, a moral obligation to do everything that we possibly can to mitigate the effects, the harming effects of climate change. And New Jersey, unfortunately, is one of the states that's warming quicker than most of the United States. And we have to be cognizant of that. And if we don't do anything about it, or try to do something about it, we're derelict in our duties. And I don't want to go down as being derelict in my duty to try to make this a better place. Any other comments? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with your points. This is a critical first step in the electrification of transportation, which, as you say, accounts for more than 45% of our greenhouse gas emissions. I do think it is important that the consultant we retain take a balanced approach to this. There's been a lot of attention focused on rebates for the purchase of personal vehicles, and that has a role. But I think we need to be careful that we're not using public funds to provide subsidies to affluent people for the purchase of very expensive cars. I think this program can be done the right way. And I also think it's important that we devote significant resources to investments in infrastructure, particularly charging infrastructure, and most importantly, lead by example by electrifying our state fleet of vehicles, which accounts for thousands of vehicles, and also electrify our mass transit resources at New Jersey Transit. There needs to be a balanced approach, and I look forward to seeing the product that the consultant is going to provide. Thank you.
Commissioner?
Yeah, I echo your remarks, and I also, given our lively discussion in executive session, wanted to thank my fellow commissioners for working together to make this the best product going forward. And I think that, we will have a consultant on board, I think, that will take into consideration all the aspects of what you mentioned and hopefully come out with a wonderful work product. So thank you all for allowing for that.
Thank you. Yes.
I concur with the President's comments about the greening effect that electric vehicles will have. We have about 6 million cars, and achieving 330,000 electric vehicles by 2025 is an ambitious goal. I think it is achievable. And but I want to just to take this opportunity to thank Ashley Lynn Shiraz for her great work. I mean, when I interacted with her, she's very knowledgeable, and we're really proud to have her.
Yep. And I think we all second that. So thank you, Ashley. Any other comments? Roll call.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation to release the RFQ consistent with the discussion in executive session, Commissioner Holden?
Yes.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Chivukula?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon? Yes. President Fiordaliso?
Yes. There are no miscellaneous items, but I do, before we adjourn, want to repeat what I mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, that due to technical restraints of the meeting location on October 7, we will be unable to live stream the meeting. We will, however, be able to video record the meeting and then upload it to the BPU website. So if you're interested and want to go onto the BPU website for the October 7th meeting, it will be available there. But keep in mind, as you're watching it, it's not real time. It's old news already. But don't look for us. Hopefully, our subsequent meeting after the 7th, we will be able to continue our live streaming.
I just want to, will it be available for download on Netflix?
Yes, it will be available, Netflix, and as a matter of fact, they have a massive public relations campaign to have us, it would draw a lot of people, I can tell you that. Any other comments? Motion to adjourn. All those in favor? We're adjourned.